Hello, incredible moms, boss babes, entrepreneurs. Welcome
to Mom Flails.
because that's what we do. We flail. Excited about my special guest today. We have the incredible Caity Keegan. She's the owner of the School Hive. She has launched her teacher company through a blog, mini store, and YouTube to connect busy bee teachers and help them find a community and help simplify their lives. During the day, she teaches special ed, kindergarten to grade 2, and is currently working on her master's in special education. She is incredible. She is positive. She is my friend, and I'm super excited. Welcome.
Mom flails, here we go. That was a mom flail. Everything in life, I swear, is a flail. You get that, right? Like we don't
100%. Yes.
we have failures. We don't have failures.
Yeah.
Right? But I have a question that just before, like, whoa. So you teach, tell us like what you teach.
Oh, yeah.
Like, start at, yeah.
Yeah.
We want to know. We want to know. Yeah.
Okay, so I teach special ed K through 2nd grade, moderate, severe. It's basically, it can mean anything now that I think of it. But basically they need more support in the classroom with me. And so I have a lot of students who are still learning how to use the restroom, learning how to talk, and
From our first conversation that we had when we first connected, they shared your heart with me about teaching and why you teach. And that's something that I think the whole world wants to hear.
So I definitely feel like the reason I got into teaching was because I noticed that some students didn't have an advocate. They didn't have someone speaking up for them. I might start crying a little bit. And and there was no one fighting for them. And these were the students who really need someone fighting for them tooth and nail, no matter if someone likes me or not. Like, I'm probably super annoying to some of my admin, and I just don't care, because my students at the end of the day and their many successes throughout the day is what is important to me. And I saw that there needed to be someone who was going to fight for them and we go super over the top in my classroom. Every success is a huge celebration. We're all so happy when someone gets that little goal or, is able to finally do something we were working on, and just have that positivity and show that student just love and respect, because especially in the special ed world, sometimes it's hard to come by, and that's not going to happen in my classroom. And we are going to just work so hard together to make sure that they have a spot in the world and are accepted.
I love you. Thank you for saying that. Amazing. Like, I'm teary-eyed now.
I know.
Because these kids are so important,
And I think I switched jobs so many times because I was trying to find a place that agreed with me and followed suit. And this year I found an amazing place to work at, and it finally feels like home. And I actually have a team that's working with me to fight for these students. And whether we agree on everything or not, but everyone is respectful, and we are all just there to make sure that student can be the very best version of themselves when they become an adult.
I love it. This is why I'm doing this 100%, is you guys, teachers, are the heroes. Like, it's unbelievable, because you're putting yourselves out there just like nurses and doctors. And the biggest thing for parents that are listening to this, and this is my next question for you that I want to touch upon this topic, is trust and safety of our children. So, right? Because we are entrusting in teachers to monitor the kids, not touching their faces, they're washing their hands. And it's like that even without COVID,
Yeah, definitely.
To take care of our children.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, what can you offer to parents in terms of their anxiety with children going back to school?
Some parents, they're always, from what I've noticed, is like they feel like they're asking too many questions, or they're worried about, you know, they're going to be bugging the teacher and stuff like that. And really, those tend to always end up being my favorite parents because they are on top of it. They're asking all the questions. In my opinion, they're what's first and what comes first, and asking those questions. And if you end up bugging the teacher, oh well, but like,
do it, bug them.
Yes.
Bug them.
Yes.
You know what? It's funny because I had a mom, neither of my kids were in school yet at this point.
Yeah.
I had a mom say to me, if you don't follow up with the teacher, like if you don't ask questions about your child will probably get lost in the system or be not forgotten about.
Right.
But it's the parents who do speak up, who ask questions like, how's my kid doing?
Right. Yeah.
And the teacher's like, oh, you know, shit, like I actually need to pay attention to this kid because their mom is going to actually follow up. And so as a parent, having the guts and glory to speak up for your kid, do it. Yeah.
Teachers have a lot of students they have to pay attention to. And so sometimes we do forget Charlie, you know, was struggling with this because we just get so busy. And so having that parent remind you too, like, how's he doing? It's like, oh, I need to double check on that. Thank you.
My God, I love your honesty. You're like one of my fave teachers.
I started subbing. I really love special ed, and I am just obsessed with it. And I'm constantly trying to learn more about it and figure out ways to help my students. And I am so happy with the direction I chose.
So, I mean, children with some sort of disability in some way, whether it be emotional, mental, physical, you work with these children on the spectrum from one end to the other, right?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe there's a mom at home right now listening to this going, okay, incredible. Like you have that insight, that knowledge. You do this every day. Because I hear from moms all the time. And, you know, I just recently spoke with a grandma, for example, and she thinks her grandson might be on the spectrum. She's not for certain. What are some of the things that moms or grandparents or guardians who are watching these children right now at home that they should be looking out for, that maybe they should bring up with their teachers?
So really helpful when either these parents or grandparents, when they kind of have more than one kid at home, and they can kind of see like, oh, they're not really, you know, where, you know, Charlie was when he was 3 or 4.
Now, is that something though? Because I mean, I like with my mom friends and everybody, it's always like kids learn on at different times, different milestones, different ages, and so
and they definitely do, but I think there's always something kind of in your gut that something's like off more than normal. I looked up just basically milestones. You can Google it, you know, where should my child be? And it gives you a range.
Yeah.
So, you know, from 0 to 6 months, or, you know, we're talking 3 to 4, they should be attempting or starting to do these things. But if they're 6 and like, it still hasn't happened, then it's kind of like,
maybe you probably have that link, right? So you can give it.
I will give it to you. Yeah,
okay, perfect.
I'll send it to you, definitely. So talking to their teacher and saying, hey, I'm concerned about this, because their teacher is going to be able to say, oh, they're, you know, don't worry about it. That's something, you know, where it is, they're all learning at their own pace. But because for special ed, in order to be in special ed, you're usually at least 2 years behind to qualify.
So you have to be in kindergarten and grade 1 to even maybe get
for the we don't like test until about, you know, 2nd grade, just because you could still just be kind of behind and
maturity level wise, right?
Sometimes maturity has a lot to do with it. We're like, let's get on my ear and
please don't pee on the wall. Okay. This time, pull your pants up. Okay, now let's focus on and
not to say, you know, we have kindergartners that do qualify, because we do see something that's more than just, they're not
What
reading.
would be an example of more?
Like if they're not talking.
Okay, so if they're not talking at all by kindergarten.
Yeah.
Or preschool,
or I would say preschool, yeah.
Preschool, okay.
They're not communicating, between 3 and 5. Even if they're not communicating full sentences, they should be able to like imitate what you're saying.
Right.
If you're saying words, they should be attempting to. So definitely that.
So it's not so much like the pronunciation you need to worry about, or like L's to R's, whatever. It's not properly, or like F instead of TH. That stuff will come about when it comes about. It's more like literally vocalizing words.
Vocalizing by the time they're in school, then I would definitely say, talk to the teacher because something might be up.
Yeah. And if you're a parent, and you haven't already, if your child is 4 and not speaking, anybody who's listening, we're here for you. We support you. We love you. Want to just help you and your amazing child. And there are incredible programs that they can, right? Like, do you have any advice for a mom that's listening going, okay, like now what's my next
step? Yeah.
When
you're taking your kid to the doctor might notice something also, and they can refer you. That's definitely a person you can ask to if they're not in school yet is, hey, I've noticed this, is that normal? Are they behind? And the doctor should be able to answer those questions as well. And counties have some really cool programs where before they're at school age, they are able to,
And this is the life that we're living right now. And it just it is. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, you're totally good.
And my husband, he said that to me, like, what are you going to do with the kids? And I said, this is called mom flails. This is the world right now.
Yeah.
Why we started the podcast. I said, I hope they walk in.
But the doctor can definitely help. And because if there is something more going on that's a little bit more severe, there are programs. So like if your child does have autism and it's more on the severe end, there are programs that you can put them in, I believe, starting at age 2. So they can be in a program and getting assistance and just for behavior and all that.
So because of what's going on in the world today, and a lot of us are not taking our children to the doctor or to see therapists, or, it's just a different world. So are there any sort of at-home ideas? I mean, for my son, for example, he was a later talker, right? Like, he was that boy that, if there were loud noises, he'd cover his ears and hide, wouldn't sit still to focus for more than 5 minutes. Complete opposite of my daughter.
Right.
100%. And I started doing things with him every night, just like repeat after me, super easy words, and just started focusing, like I call it pillow talk. And parents, if you're listening, and I know you are, but all of you moms that are listening, reading at night, singing songs, and pillow talk, telling stories back and forth, and repeat after me's, all of that is so important for your child's mental well-being, bonding with you, and learning how to communicate, socialize, and pronunciate, and talk. So is that something that you would recommend right now for moms to be, and dads?
Oh yes, 100%. I know it can feel super overwhelming, especially with everything else going on. So I would definitely recommend just find one thing to make a routine every night, every morning, whenever it is that you have time with your kids, and just start there. It's just so important because those are the foundational skills and those foundational years where it's probably the most important during that time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And in addition to, teaching how to speak, enunciate words, and have a more extensive vocabulary, also a huge piece of that is mindset. And especially if your children may be on the spectrum or maybe a little bit behind, for them to believe in themselves regardless, and for them not to realize or look at other kids and go, I'm different, or but to love themselves and keep their head up high, to know that they'll get through it. We'll get through it together. We'll all work together. And that's a big piece of, this. What I do is mindset. And
that's where I love the flail thing, because something in my classroom that I love, just a concept that I try to teach all my students is that
you teach your students. There's no try. There's no try. You're either doing or you're not doing. Doing. Yeah.
And just that you're gonna fail a million times, and that's what we're here for, is to fail and figure out the way that it works. And basically all we're going to do most of the day is fail.
or we'll flail, right?
Yeah, flail, yes. So it's just, that mindset is so important, because when they grow up, if they're not able to handle, when things don't go right, it's going to be a lot harder to change that mindset when they're older.
Yeah. Well, there's studies that literally show you have until age 5 to really set that mindset in stone, in terms of your parents, your guardians, your coaches, your soccer coach, your guides in the world who are around you. Whatever they say to you sticks as a kid. You literally take it literally. Literally.
Oh yeah. The big thing that we work on is setting goals for themselves. And did you achieve that goal? Let's not worry about Lucy's goal, because she's working on something totally different. She's a different person. She needs these tools. Yes. You don't need that. You need these tools, and we're trying to reach this goal. So did you reach that goal? And don't worry about everybody else, because everyone is totally different and working on their own goals. Yeah. And as long as you're working on your personal, you're learning your ABCs, that's all we care about.
You know what? It's like, I'm getting chills. I get chills when we talk about something that really, really matters. And it's so funny, because thinking about it, how many adults focus on other people's goals all the time, and then they look at so-and-so and go, well, that's where you are, and that's what you're doing, and now look at me, and then they get down on themselves because they're not where so-and-so is. But it's we all are on our own different paths. Nobody should be competitive or comparing themselves to anybody else. You can aspire to be. So it's so interesting, because it's so true. If you have that mentality at a young age, you'll grow up to be resilient and be able to focus on your own self.
Yes. And that's where the true success comes, is being able to reflect on where you're at and where you want to be, and focusing on that instead of all the other things going on.
The parents who do have children with disabilities now virtually learning.
Right.
What can you help them with? How, do you, for example, let's say your goal for the day is to have them, sit and focus, maybe do some tracing. I don't know, some helpful advice you could share with parents who are at home with a child with autism. Yeah.
No, definitely. Thing that always helps me the most in my classroom, and that I will tell any parent, is some kind of routine. Some kind of routine is going to help so much. And with change, especially students with autism, there's going to be a lot of crying, and it's okay. When something happens and they're having a hard time dealing with it and they're upset about it, that is 100% okay. And you should not feel upset because they are upset, because it's going to happen. Okay. And during, their childhood and stuff, we want to teach them to be able to handle that change, so that when they get older, they're able to handle it successfully. And the tantrums and all of that stuff will decrease over time. And the most important thing, which I feel like I've noticed with parents, is give yourself a break. Give yourself a break.
Yes.
We are all trying our best, and it's okay that you totally flailed that day.
Yeah, girl.
It's
going
to happen. And just give yourself a break, because you are trying your best no matter, because I feel like I have
we're doing our best. We are literally all stepping up and being incredible moms in whatever way, shape, and form we can be in the moment. I mean, I right now feel guilty. Like anytime I'm in the office and I have to close my door, I'm flailing inside as a mom. And every second, that we talk, I'm loving our conversation. But as moms and as teachers, we have our kids in the back of our minds at all times. Teachers that I know that don't have their own children, they have children. Like,
I'm up till 3 a.m. thinking about other people's children.
You are. And I had a conversation with a teacher yesterday, for example, and we were both crying on the phone, and she's like, Laura, she's like, I taught kindergarten for 11 years, and every year at the end of the year, it's so hard letting them go. It's like a breakup. And she, I'm crying. Oh my goodness. Like, it's just unbelievable what teachers do. And, this is really what I wanted to do, is to have this platform for you guys to really share your hearts and your voice. And for moms and for dads and parents and grandmas and uncles and aunts and guardians and anybody who watches these children at home, we now know how hard it is to be a teacher. Like, I've got my program. I'm lucky because I kind of I've been doing it and helping other moms and teachers. It's a journey, like that patience.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I've got an Early Reader Academy shirt that says I am patient. I'm getting one made in my size.
Yeah.
Because that, like, learning to be, I know I thought I was patient. No, it's just a whole horse of a different color. Having two kids, teaching them both different things at the same time, and running a business, and answering phones, and Zoom calls, and meetings, and like, you guys are doing all of this times, 20, 30, however many kids you have. So,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. If there was a message, one message that you could share with moms today, what would that be?
That's a good one. Let me think.
I'm saying moms because this is Mom Flails. I know moms are going to be listening to this, but if you could share one message with the world, with parents, what would that be?
I think just you are doing your best and you're awesome at whatever you're doing, and just kind of off of what I, said about giving yourself a break, and just as long as you are doing what you think is best for your kid and in your heart it's the best thing, like, just keep doing it. Like, if you have that teacher who you're having a hard time with and you keep bugging them. Like, just do whatever you think is right for your kid.
Good, yeah. Stand up.
At the end of the day, like, that's what's important.
Sometimes they can't speak up for themselves. And it goes along with everything in life. Period. Stand up for your kid and have them stand up for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And to take time for yourself no matter what.
Yeah, well, that goes for you too.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I've got teachers that are messaging me like the middle of the night. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, my middle of the night, and they're in the East, or they're like, Central Time. I'm just like, go to bed. Like, go to bed.
Yeah.
We'll figure this, keynote presentation out tomorrow. I know. And for me and all the moms in the world and everybody listening, we thank you for everything that you're doing for all of the kids that you help and mentoring them. And I'm just going to say it, like, with me, with my program that I built, I understand, and having the childhood that I had and the mindset that I have, all the things that, I was able to get through, which I'll be sharing more and more in these episodes. But kindergarten teachers and primary teachers, I think, are the most important teachers that exist, especially pre-KK, because you are the ones who are creating in the minds of these children, these kindergarten kids, what to expect from their teachers. right? And it's like,
oh yeah.
and then what to expect in school, and then also how to believe in themselves that they can do things. They, keep moving forward, exactly as you said. You're going to replace your fail with flail, so that we can prevail, so that we can learn from our mistakes. And it's so true. Every decision you make, this, is the right one, because you learn from that choice. And the next time you get to choose again, you'll make the right, better decision and choice, right? So I just love kindergarten. Like, kindergarten is my favorite. My favorite teachers, my favorite kids. Like, it's because they're so impressionable. My daughter was in soccer. I signed her up for soccer when she was like 3.5 or 4 or something. And that's why I said soccer coach.
Yeah.
Because we had an unbelievable flail when she was in soccer, and they just ignored her. And to the point where literally, like, they all sit in a circle.
Yeah.
Everybody is all the kids are saying their name around the circle. And I'd already told them they left her out that first class, and she was sitting between 2 coaches. So right in the middle of 2 coaches, and then the rest of the kids. And they went around the circle, all said their names, and they were like, okay, great. They all stood up and completely forgot to ask her name. Oh my God, Caity, she slow motion turned around. I watched it happen.
Yeah.
From the sidelines, I'm like, don't forget my kid, And she turned around and just started bawling. And it took weeks. Like, my kid went from outgoing, social, wanted to do anything, gumption, spoke up.
Right, yeah.
Being 100% my kid, outgoing child, to deflated, completely 180 reversed into a kid I had never seen before. And it took me 2 weeks to pull her out of that funk.
Yeah.
From that little experience, from your guides, your coaches that you think are supposed to be there for you. And she was like, this is why being a teacher is so important. And the things that we say to our kids, it matters to their psyche.
Oh, yes. So much. And how all of these environments are making them feel, because I had a student who was at a school completely was involved in all the gen ed and everything, and then switched schools where he wasn't involved as much. And I had a chat with him about it. And he was like, well, I used to have friends, and I used to know who was in my, and it makes a huge impression on them.
Yeah.
And it's
classic.
Yes.
But when I do these things, here's this mom flail, my post I posted the other day. I get it. We have these moments where I have to plunk my kids in front of the TV or iPad. But it's okay, moms. Like, if you're, all the moms who are listening to this, I'm able to do this right now because I have a television. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right? But I also spend a lot of time with the kids, hanging out with them, playing with them, spending time with them. That's what they crave, and that's what teachers do. You guys are incredible. Let's talk really quickly about your blog. Maybe we should tell people why.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. You've got this blog, and you're talking to other teachers. Share a little bit about that. Yeah.
I have a blog. It's called the School Hive. And I basically started it because COVID. And I was really needing some kind of outlet. And I had started blogs in the past, and they never stuck, or, I just wasn't passionate about it, and I kind of lost interest. And I started this one, and I am obsessed because I get to share and learn from other teachers by doing teacher interviews, because as a teacher, it is really hard to see what other teachers are doing, because one, I never want to take a day off because I don't want to make sub notes. I'd rather be there in control, making sure the day rolls on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to create an environment and a place where teachers can come and see what other teachers are doing and what their experiences are and how they got there, without having to take all that extra time that it takes to have to leave the classroom.
I know, it's so true. And everybody who's listening, we're going to have opt-in. There's going to be an opt-in page, mumflails.com. You get one newsletter a month. And if you're interested in Caity's information, I will make sure to put it in the September newsletter. So opt in, mumflails.com, and you can get a hold of Caity and or follow, Caity's blog, and, really, you've got some cute outfits I see that you try on.
Teacher outfits are fun. And I actually launched a little teacher mini store, and it's just basically cute teacher accessories.
I love the side hustle, because the Mum Flails, it's about teachers, It's about business, it's about entrepreneurs, it's about women, it's about supporting other women. And, all of us have little side hustles right now. And so definitely, Caity, obviously you're on the podcast. I know you listened already and you're subscribed. But just know, for your little side hustle, we're going to have tons of information on how to market your business and different courses and ways to, create these webinars and actually sell what you want to sell, if you want to sell.
Yeah.
So for moms listening, that's the whole goal of this podcast, is for all of us to share. And everybody is invited who listens to the podcast, to the Mum Flails Club Facebook group. That's it. It's so exclusive. There's nobody else. It's guests who are on the podcast. I'm not kidding. I know. I had somebody say to me, it's kind of snobby, no, it's not, because I'm in other ones and they're all so bogged down with people who are not nice to each other, who don't support each other. Mm-hmm. I especially love teachers, because you're all in the same realm. Your teacher, pay teacher. It's everybody supports one another. The world is not like that. Teachers are like that.
Yeah.
And I love that, teaching kids too is support one another. Grades exist, sure, but let's all work together to help each other and support each other, right?
Yeah, because that having those relationships and helping each other, that's really gonna be what helps you take anything to the next level and help. And you have to be willing to help others too. It can't just be oh, can you help me? It's
100%.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And I always say to my kids, don't ever do anything for anybody and expect anything in return. Mm-hmm. Just know that I believe in karma and energy.
Right.
And what you put out comes back, and be kind, because you're kind and you put that out, kindness will come back, whether it's from that person or from 10 others or from some other way.
Oh yes, 100%.
Yeah. I know. This is why I love you. This is why I wanted you and I to have this conversation. Because when we first started talking, I'm like, do you believe in energy? Do you believe in I'm one of those people.
Oh yeah.
Manifestation is so real.
Oh yeah. No, if you, having the positive mindset and just doing good things, good things are going to happen in return. And it's totally not going to be anything you imagine. And it's going to be twice as better than you had dreamed. But
Okay, so what do you do to relax?
What do I do to relax? That's a great question.
What do you do to relax, to forget about all these teachers, to forget all your virtual learning? What are you doing to really relax right now? I want to know.
Yeah, that's actually, I gotta think about
Oh my God, you need to start relaxing.
I know. The thing that helps me relax so much is at the end of the day, just being able to hang out and just hang out on the couch for a good 30 minutes or an hour and just kind of talk with Ronnie and stuff and how was the day, and
that's nice.
Kind of be with him for, the last part of the night before we got to do it all over again. That's my relaxing.
I love that though. Your future husband.
Yeah.
You're going to get married.
I know.
So on that note, I think that's a good, note to say congratulations on your upcoming wedding. Hopefully you'll be able, even if it's just you and Ronnie, you don't need anybody else there anyway. It sounds
I know. Yeah.
But whatever happens in terms of where you have it, who you have there, and what, it's going to be beautiful regardless. And I'm so excited for you. And let me just say, we spent so much money on our wedding, had 150 people there. It would have been just as amazing if it was just Keith and I. Let's just like, we loved those people. It was so fun. We had wine. Anyway, okay, well, you're amazing. Here is my son. It's a perfect ending. Hold on one second.
Yeah, definitely.
Where are you? Come here.
You just
He's hiding behind the chair.
I didn't even see him there.
Watch. Where is he? Ooh. No. Pop your head out to one side so we can see your cute face. Where is it? Pop it out. Where's your face?
I can hear the giggle.
Yeah. That's my little boo. He's supposed to go to kindergarten, so we'll see.
Oh, fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a crazy time for kindergarten.
I'm feeling uneasy about it for sure. And when I look at my kids, all I think of is I want to keep them safe.
Yeah.
How do I make the decision?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Parents would prefer their kids in school just because of their needs and stuff.
That's my boy. But literally, like him even coming in here with knowing that I got somebody on the screen and before, he would not even have come in. He would have been too shy to even connect like that. Yeah. So, right? So, yeah, just keep it up. And parents that are listening, just do you. Be you. Focus on you. And don't give up. Like, don't give up on your kid. It's hard. Day 1 is hard. Day 2 is hard. Day 3 is harder. Day 4 might get a little easier. Day 5, you're going to go back to day 1. But day 6, it might stick. You know, and day 7, you're going to cry. And day 8, you're going to flail. And day 9, you're going to be drinking wine on your bathroom floor. And then day 10, your teacher is going to say something that's going to make you feel really awesome.
Yes.
And it just is just how it goes. Right. So
really,
thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Was it? Well, we'll do more. We'll get better and better and better and better at this. You're literally my first recording with a guest, first ever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I've got 20 recorded. You're the first ever. So, which is why I was like, okay, let me go. Where else? But this is real life. This is how it goes, right? And I love that. I love real life. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was driving, and I was honestly wondering, like, do I want to swear? Do I want to be I was a marketing consultant for so years. Like, I was in a suit, and like prim and proper. And I'm a children's author. We don't swear. And I'm doing readings in elementary schools, and it's fun. And I teach kids like positivity and mindset. And I'm like, but this is mom flails. And, mom flail is like, throwing out an F-bomb by accident here and there.
Right. Oh, definitely.
But these are all things right now that are going on in my mind. What do you want to hear? What do teachers want to hear? What do moms really want to hear? And they want just normalcy.
Yes. Yeah. Because the podcast where everyone is just flailing makes me feel so much better about all my flails and that I'm not the only one.
Oh my God, we are flailing together.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. And that's, hearing all of everybody's stories and just connecting together and supporting one another is the goal, right? And so anything that you need, okay, for as a teacher, or you want like business topics or anything, on the Mom Flails Club like Facebook group, that's where everybody can tell everybody what we want to hear, what we want to do. Awesome. I'm just here to set it up and host it, but everybody in essence is in charge of what's happening. And so everybody who's listening, if you love Caity and want her back, go on to the Mom Flails Club. She can talk about her stuff and her cute outfits and help us some more with, teacher advice, tips and tricks, because it was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. To the moon.
Thank you so much.
I have a dream, and that dream is for all of us to connect. I miss connecting with people, and I am inspired by you. go inspire somebody too. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe because you know whether or not you want to do that on your own. And if you miss me,